Hey everybody, and welcome to my completely unrehearsed, unstructured video on starting a business as an alternative to getting a job, or as an alternative really to job search. Now, I hope you will appreciate the completely unrehearsed, unstructured nature of this. I'm really trying to be as genuine as I possibly can here, but hopefully you'll forgive me if I ramble a bit and this goes on a little longer. I tend to do that. Anyway, so listen, my first love when it comes to business is talking to entrepreneurs and helping mentor startup founders and other entrepreneurs on starting their business, finding that formula that will generate money for them. I find that that's the most fascinating area of business, and I feel in my own mind it's the most fundamental exercise in business that you can do. Everything else that you learn in business, whether it's the accounting side or the marketing side or the operations side or any other element, it's kind of a piece of the puzzle, but it's not really the whole of business. And I find that when you deal with entrepreneurship, the starting of a business, that's where you do have to deal with everything. It's the core problem in business, which is how to do something that makes you money. And I find that fascinating. So that's my first love. Unfortunately, on YouTube, I've done a few videos about this topic, and they never really seem to do very well. It seems not a lot of people are interested in that, at least not compared with the amount of people that are interested in getting a job. So, getting a job, that seems to have a much bigger audience for it, which is nice, but this is what I really like talking about. Now, these two topics are actually related. Starting a business on the one hand and getting a job on the other are both very, very interrelated because, as you can probably guess, starting a business is an alternative to getting a job. Both have the potential to make you a lot of money. Both have the potential to have you meet some of your life's goals, like achieving your potential, feeling like you can give something back, feeling like you have a sense of self-worth, right? So these two are very closely related. Now, the events of the last couple of years in the global health area have forced a lot of people to be cut off from the rest of society. We don't interact nearly as much. Everybody's working remotely. And it's really pushing the ability to work remotely and the ability to do things remotely into the stratosphere. The world was heading online kind of as things were developing normally. And then the events of late 2019, 2020, and 2021 occurred. And it seems to have just kicked that into high gear. And it's interesting because thanks to the internet, thanks to social networking and all kinds of things that are internet-related technologies, there are tremendous opportunities that are available to everybody out there. If you have an internet connection and you have time on your hands, you can start a business. Anyone can do this. And it's actually very, very simple, very, very cheap, and very, very quick to do it. The only thing that people lack is the knowledge of what to do and how to do it. And that's something that, once again, the internet can really help with, because just like my YouTube channel is one of millions, it's a source for learning, and a lot of it's free. All it takes is being able to discover it and then just having the desire to do it. So, I would, if I'm left to my own devices to really talk about what I want to talk, I like to evangelize about how starting a business is actually a really viable alternative to getting a job. The reason why a lot of us work at day jobs, we go and we work for someone else, is because it's always been the default thing that people do, right? That's the standard career path. You go and you get a job. Now, let's face reality here. What you can do starting your own business is somewhat limited. Okay, if you want to solve the travel problems between North and South America and Europe, right? You can't really do that out of your garage. You need airlines, you need large organizations like Boeing and Airbus to design the planes, and you need this huge infrastructure, of airports and regulation and all this stuff to do it, right? There are big problems, and we need large organizations to solve those big problems. But we have a ton of small problems out there. We have an almost unlimited amount of small problems out there in the world. Think of all the things that could be done better, right? Think of any kind of efficiency that you've experienced in your life. Just in the course of your day, I'm sure you encounter someone who's not doing as good of a job as they could be. I'm sure you encountered companies that are not doing as good of a job as they could be, right? These are the opportunities out there. And a lot of those opportunities are small things, little tweaks, right? And that's why smaller companies exist, to be a solution to the smaller problems, of which there are many. So you too can be part of the solution, okay? This is why I encourage people to learn about business, okay? If you are an artist, you like to sculpt or paint pictures or, whatever, right? Maybe your ambition is to have your paintings displayed in the art galleries in prominent cities around the world. Maybe that's your ambition. Well, in large part, it's a business problem. You have a thing, right, that you can do. You're working on your art. And all that it takes from that point on is to get your art in front of the right people, is to get it out there, is to make people aware of you. Because let's just pretend that you weren't the greatest artist in the world. And maybe one person out of 1,000 who saw your painting would like it, right? Well, one person out of 1,000 who sees it would like it and would go to maybe an art gallery that has your painting, or go to an event that you created that shows off your art, or would buy a product of yours that had your art on it, or something like that, or would engage you to paint a picture or something for them, right? 1 out of 1,000 people would. Well, imagine if you could get your art in front of 10 million people. Okay? If you could do that, you'd have 10,000 customers. Okay? It's just that simple. Now, in the past, getting your art in front of 10 million people when you're an unknown person just working by yourself, that was a pretty tall order. But thanks to the internet, thanks to the tools that each and every one of us has available on our phones, it's possible to do. So I'm not gonna go into great detail about this, but I just want to convey to you the possibilities. And if you understand a little bit of the thing you want to do, in the case of art, if you understand art a little bit, right? But then coupled with that, you have an understanding of business, you can then turn your art or whatever it is that you want to do into a business. And if there are a lot of people that have a need for it, have a want for it, maybe it's not every single person. Maybe it is only 1 out of 1,000 people. But if they're out there, you can turn your thing you want to do into a business, which is your job. It makes you money. It eliminates the need for you to get a job at an existing employer. It's really an exciting topic. I'm very excited by this topic, and I have been for many years. And sometimes I can convey that to people, sometimes I can't. So I'm not sure if I'm really succeeding with you, but I think it's something to think about. And if this topic is interesting to you, then the thing to do is to learn business. And really, it's not that complicated. If you really want to get into certain parts of business, you want to go deep in accounting, you want to go deep in finance, you want to go deep into sales, it can get pretty involved. But in absolute terms, it's generally not one of the hardest topics that is taught in universities, put it that way. I mean, if you can manage to learn about science and things like this, or mathematics, you can learn business, certainly. It's not something that is that intimidating. So in the future, and I've mentioned this on my other channel, but in the future, I'm thinking of doing a course, which would be, I call it a $100 MBA. It's just in the idea stage right now. What it would be a course that's offered. You pay $100, you take this course, and you essentially get the equivalent of an MBA. I teach you, I take you through an MBA. Obviously, it's unaccredited. Okay, it's not recognized. It's not going to be recognized anywhere. But this would be for people that you don't want to pay for the fancy degree, but you would like to pick up the skills. You would like to learn the material. So what I would do, this is a self-study thing. What I would do is I would have one lecture on each of the topics, okay, that you would take in an MBA. So you're going to have, normally you would take a course on accounting, a course on finance, a course on marketing, a course on strategy, a course on operations, possibly a course on economics, a course on entrepreneurship, a course on human resources. There's about 12 of them. And I would make you go out and buy the books. You can get them, you can order them from Amazon. And these are the same textbooks that are used in universities when they teach the courses in MBA programs. And you can get older editions so that, you know, they only cost like literally $5 off Amazon instead of $150. And you order the books and then you read them. You read them yourself. You can go as deep as you want. I introduce the topic. I cover the major parts of it. And I would like to give a little bit of extra insight from my experiences as an executive, as a CEO, and as an entrepreneur. So I could maybe add a bit to that, but that's, you know, this is still in the idea stage. So anyway, I'm thinking of offering that maybe in the future. If you have an opinion on if you would like this, or you have an opinion of what specifically you would want, let me know in the comments. Once again, I'm looking for all the advice I can get to see what people are interested in. But yeah, if you have a long-term ambition to not have to report to anyone, to be your own boss, to potentially make a lot more money than you would of your own accord working in a career job, if this is interesting to you, let me know, because I would love to talk more about this and go into a lot of the details. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much the gist of this. Let me know if you have any suggestions for videos you'd like me to do, and I'm listening. Thank you very much for your attention. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you on the next video. And as always, and I mean this, I totally mean this, you're awesome. Take care.